So hello children. So here we are in grade 8 and we are learning the very first unit of us where we are going to learn about these microorganisms. The importance of the microorganisms in this lesson. So first we'll be going to our presentation. So look at the picture I have given to you here and let us see whether you are able to identify these organisms. Because of these organisms, we cannot see through our naked eye. මේ අපේ පියවිය හැට මේගොල්ලන්ව බලා ගන්න බැහැ. Because some of them will be of only one cell. නේද? එක cell එකක් විතරක් තියෙන අයත් මේකේ organisms ලා ඉන්නවා. අපි කියන unicellular අය කියලා. And some are of many cells with like these multicellular organisms. So they cannot see through our naked eye. So we are going to learn how important they are for our lives. මෙච්චර අපිට ඇහැට පේන්නේ නැති organisms වුණත් අපිට කොච්චරනම් මේගොල්ලෝ වැදගත්ද කියන එක තමයි මෙතනදී මේ අපි බලන්න යන්නේ. So we'll first see a small video regarding these microorganisms.
Think about single cell. We often picture tiny amoeba-like transparent circular organisms. But life in the microworld isn't as simple as that. Single-celled organisms vary greatly in both shape, size, color and function. So in this video, we are taking a closer look at the incredible microscopic diversity in a few drops of water from a single forest pond sample. These two large bluish cells are called stentors, and they are some of the biggest single-celled organisms on the planet. They move and feed using tiny beating hair-like projections called.
You see that some are having only one cell and some are having many cells, but whatever they are, they cannot see through our naked eye. So here, what are we going to learn about these organisms now? Now, the way how we can see them. Now, if they cannot be seen through our naked eye, so how are we able to see them? That is by using a microscope. ඉතින් අපි කියන ආලෝක අන්වීක්ෂයක් නැත්නම් electron microscope එකක් use කරලා තමයි අපිට මෙයාලව බලන්න පුළුවන්. So where do they live? ළමයි what are the habitats? මෙයාලගේ වාසස්ථාන විදිහට anywhere can be taken. The atmosphere, water, soil, even in the hostile environments where the other organisms won't be living. When organisms ජීවීන් ජීවත් වෙන්නේ නැති පරිසරවල හරියට glaciers, deserts, කාන්තාරණේ, the hot springs, deep sea වගේ තැන්වල even in and on the living organisms. The living organisms like ඇඟ ඇතුලේ ඒ වගේම ඇඟ මතත් මේගොල්ලෝ ඉන්න පුළුවන්. Next, so for examples for microorganisms, bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi, viruses can be taken. So these are some of the microorganisms here. So bacteria are unicellular. So there are different types of bacteria of different shapes. And then this is yeast, a type of fungi. At the same time, yeast is something that we can see in coconut water. In the age coconut water sample එකක් ගත්තොත් පරණ වෙච්ච පොල් වතුර ගත්තොත් මේකේ ඉන්නවා yeast. And Chlamydomonas, a green color algae which is able to do photosynthesis. A muco, a fungi which is growing on bread. අපි පුස් කියලා කියනවා farm පුස්. Amoeba, paramecium are some of the microorganisms we are commonly observing. So the effects of these microorganisms on food, අපේ කෑම වලට මේ microorganisms මොනවා කරනවා ඇතිද ළමයි? So the effect of these microorganisms on our food is not very good. එච්චර හොඳ දෙයක් කරනවා නෙවෙයි. So they are making our food not suitable for the consumption. අපිට පාවිච්චියට සුදුසු නැති කරන එක තමයි මේගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ අපේ කෑම ජාති. So how do they do that one? They change the color of our food items. අපේ කෑමවල තියෙන පාට මේගොල්ලෝ වෙනස් කරනවා. And the appearance of it, මේගොල්ලන්ගේ shape එක නේද අර නිකම් කෑමේ පාට ඒක වෙනස් කරනවා පිටත පෙනුම. Even there will be some odor coming out from food due to the action of these microorganisms on food. මේ microorganisms ගේ action එක නිසා කෑම ගඳ ගහන්නත් ගන්නවා. So uh, what kind of changes do they do? දැන් බලන්නම මේ තියෙන්නේ පාන් කෑල්ලක් නේද? So you have to apply some water on the piece of bread and keep it light for 2 days. And then when you observe that one, you will see some black and ash color at the same time white color patches on bread. ඒක අපි කියනවා මේකට පුස් කියලා. නේද? මේවා අපි මයික්‍රොස්කෝප් එකේ අඬ බලද්දි මෙන්න මේ වගේ අපිට පේන්න ගන්නවා. Some fibers are there. පුංචි කෙඳි කෙඳි වගේ වල උඩ black color spots are there. So this is the a group of fungi called muco growing on bread, making our food not suitable for the consumption. අපේ කෑම අපිට සුදුසු නැති කරනවා. මොකද මේගොල්ලෝ මේක උඩ grow වෙනකොට මෙයාලා පිට කරන එක එක substances මේ තියෙන surface එකට කෑම එකට වැටෙනවා. ඉතින් මේවා එච්චර හොඳ දේවල් නෙමෙයි. They can be poisons. So changing the properties of food, making it not suitable for human consumption is what we call as food spoilage. So what is the main reason for this food spoilage? හේතුව තමයි these microorganisms are going into the food and they are growing on the food, releasing their byproducts. ඒගොල්ලන් පිට කරන එක එක ඒවා පිට කර කර යාලා කෑම උඩ ඉන්නකොට අපේ ආහාරවල පාට යාලගේ සුවඳ ගඳ නේද යාලගේ තියෙන appearance එක වෙනස් වෙවි යාලා නරක වෙන එකයි මෙතනදී වෙන්නේ. So let us see these simple questions to revise what we were learning so far. So you can also pause your video for some time and do these questions without my guidance and then just see the discussion part so that you can correct yourself with the discussion. Okay, let's see the first question. It says, the microorganism that can be found in coconut water is Protozoa. So this is wrong. It should be a fungi, which is known as fungi known as yeast. So microorganisms are also organisms that can be seen through our naked eye. They are also organisms, no problem. යාලා ජීවීන් කොට්ටාසයක්. හැබැයි අපේ ඇහැට පේන්නේ නැති අය. So we cannot see them through our naked eye. Viruses are living organisms. That question should be questioned actually. Viruses are considered as living organisms. But the thing is, they also share the features of non-living things as well. Because when it comes to viruses, they do not show the most common living features like growth and respiration. මේගොල්ලෝ වර්ධනය වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ හුස්ම ගන්නවා වගේ දේවල් පෙන්වන ජීවීන් නෙවෙයි ළමයි. හැබැයි මෙයාලා reproduction කියන එක පෙන්නනවා. හැබැයි මෙයාලගේ වර්ගය අර වැඩි කරගන්නේ කොහොමද? මෙයාලා තව කෙනෙක්ගේ ඇඟකට ගිහාම විතරයි. So when it enters to a host cell only, it will be start reproducing. So we cannot take them like they share the features of living as well as non-living. So for now, we will take it as a correct answer. So the next one is, scientist Anthony van Leeuwenhoek was the first person to observe microorganisms. Microorganisms ශුද්ධ ජීවීන් කියන ඉතා කුඩා ජීවීන් කොට්ටාසයක් ඉන්නවා මෙයාලව බලන්න පුළුවන් මයික්‍රොස්කෝප් එකකින් කියලා බලපු කෙනා තමයි මේ ඇන්ටනි වෑන් ලෙවෙන්හොක් කියලා කියන්නේ. The reason for food spoilage is the growth of microorganisms on food. ආහාර නරක වෙන්න හේතුව microorganisms ද ඒ මත වැඩෙන එක තමයි. Okay, I hope that it is clear with everyone. So you see that some of the parts that we did not discuss so far have also come to these questions. The first thing is, viruses are living. නේද මේ වගේ දේවල් මම මෙහෙම question එකකින් ගත්තේ ළමයි මොකද සමහර වෙලාවට අපි පාඩම කියවගෙන යනවට වඩා question එකකින් එනකොට ඒක ඔයාලා කොළුවට යනවා. It goes to your head straight away. No. And then the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, that scientist, was the first to observe the microorganisms. So those are the two new points that you have to add into your memory regarding the lesson. Okay, so here we are going to learn about the microbial activity. So how microorganisms are going to act on food items. So we are going to do a small experiment to see the action of microorganisms on food. So for that, you are going to make a solution with a microorganism. What is the solution you are going to make? So you take a glass, you put some lukewarm water into that one. So what do you mean by lukewarm water? කියන්නේ මද රස්න වතුර ටිකක් මේකට දාලා ඒත් එක්කම අපි මේකට sugar add කරනවා. So as the second point, you are adding some sugar into that one. And not only that one, after putting sugar, you have to put some yeast into the solution. Okay, so yeast is the microorganism that you put, and sugar is the food that you put to the microorganism. Yeast dried form එකේදී වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා තමයි lukewarm water ගත්ත චුට්ටක් රස්නේ තියෙන නිසා මෙයාගේ action එක ටක් ගාලා වෙන්න ගන්නවා. නේද? Okay. So then you are putting this mixture into a glass bottle. And we put on the mixture here. So this is the glass bottle you have. And the mouth of the glass bottle, you are going to cover it with a balloon. So you are going to keep it for some time to see the observation. So what do you see now? So after some time, you see that some foams are formed on the mixture. Mixture එකේ පෙන වගේ හැදෙන්න ගන්නවා. මේත් එක්කම gas එකක් පිට වෙනවා. මේ gas එක පිට වෙනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේක යන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ බැලුන් එකේ ගිහින් රැඳෙනවා. So when the balloon is filled with air, what's going to happen? It's not going to stay as this. The balloon now gets inflated by collecting the gas given out by this mixture. දැන් මොකද්ද උනේ කියලා අපි හරියටම closely මෙතන observe කරමු ළමයි. මෙතන හිටිය අපේ microorganism yeast. And for its action, we have also put some food into our mixture. No, so yeast microorganism is going to act on the food sugar. No, so it's going to happen in the glass bottle you are having here. No, so in their action, there is a gas produced, there is a alcohol produced, and you are also able to see some bubbles in this mixture. The gas produced here is carbon dioxide, so it goes up and it inflates the balloon. ඒක තමයි මේ balloon එක පුම්බන්න ගන්න. And ethyl alcohol produced in the mixture will give out some alcoholic smell in the mixture. So here you have to remember that with the action of microorganism here, a gas is produced, some alcohol is produced. So here you see the real diagram with the inflated balloon here. So the odor of alcohol comes and the bubbles come out and becomes warm. So because of these two things happen. Okay, so let's see this experiment now. So let's see that. So I hope that it is clear to all of you children. Then Lamai, when we hear the word yeast, we know that we are using them in the bakery industry to make the bakery food items. නේද අපි මොකද කරන්නේ bakery industry එකේ අපි පිටි වලින් අර පිටි ගුලිය හැදුවට පස්සේ ඒක රයිස් කරන්න. ඒක හොඳට පිපෙන්න මොකද කරන්නේ අපි yeast add කරනවා. So this is before adding yeast. And after some time, you see that the dough will rise. No, so you see that even in the bakery industry, when the dough rises, the same carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol formed in our previous experiment are even formed here. මෙතනත් මේක හැදෙනවා. හැබැයි මොකද වෙන්නේ නම් ethyl alcohol කියන්නේ alcohol එකක් මෙයා අපි බේක් කරද්දී ඒකේ තියෙන temperature එක වැඩි නිසා ethyl alcohol is going to vaporize at that time. And carbon dioxide, it's a gas now, so it's going to leave the dough by keeping pores here. මේ අර බ්‍රෙඩ් වගේ දේවල් වලට අර හිල් ගොඩක් තියෙන ළමයි මොකද carbon dioxide හැදුණු දේවල් මෙතනින් පිට වෙලා නිසා. Okay. Now the next thing is, ළමයි, look at this question. When food is exposed to air, microbes act on it very easily. So what is the reason? Now think of your food. So when you keep your food item, the fruits හරි හිතන්නකො ගෙදරට ගෙනාවම අපි එළියේ තිබ්බහම ටක් ගාලා ඒ පළතුරු ටික නරක වෙනවා. But if you keep them inside the refrigerator, you can keep it for some time. What is the reason? In the refrigerator, the factors needed for microbial growth is controlled. නේද ඔයගලන්ගේ refrigerators වගේ දේවල් වල මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ microorganisms වලට වැඩෙන්න තියෙන තත්ත්වය ඒකට උදව් කරන මේ environment එක මොකද කරලා තියෙන්නේ අඩු කරලා තියෙනවා පුළුවන් තරම්. ඉතින් අපි බලමු දැන් what are the most suitable factors needed for the growth of microorganisms. So the first one is the moisture. නේද තෙතමනේ ඕනේ මේගොල්ලන්ට වැඩෙන්න නම් ඒ වගේම the temperature of about 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. So normally, and the next one is the pH value. pH කියලා කියන්නේ මේ microorganisms ගේ growth එකට acidity basicity කියන එක බලපානවා. So there are particular microorganisms liking to just grow on basic substances. Most of the microorganisms, they do not prefer the acidic environments. නිසා pH එකකුත් තියෙනවා මේගලන්ට වැඩෙන්න. So ළමයි, according to the food type, you have the action of microorganisms also changes. මේ අපි ගාව තියෙන කෑම ಜಾති අනුව microorganisms ගේ action එකත් ඇත්තටම වෙනස් වෙනවා. Okay, let us see what are the types of food that we eat normally. So in our normal diet, අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කන කෑම වල අපි දන්නා බත් වගේ නේද පිටි ජාතියක් තියෙනවා. පිටි ජාති කියලා කියන්නේ carbohydrates, or else you can say sugars. Not only that one, we have some meat or a piece of fish in our food. So that means proteins are there in our food. Not only that, we also include some lipid parts. So a lipid part is also included in our diet. No, so you see that there will be food rich with sugars, proteins and lipids. So if the food contains more carbohydrates or sugars, it undergoes the fermentation. මේ microbial action එක මෙතනදී වෙනස් වෙනවා යා sugar වැඩිපුර තියෙන කෑමක් නිසා. එතකොට microorganism මේක නරක කරන විදිය ටිකක් වෙනස්. අපි මේ නරක කරන විදියට කියන්නේ fermentation, පැසීම කියලා. So then comes to protein-rich products. What's going to happen? Once again, the microbial action is going to differ. Now what happens is putrefaction. ප්‍රෝටීන් තියෙන කෑම නරක් වෙන්නේ වෙන විදිහකට වෙන ගඳක් වෙන්නේ වෙන පාට වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ. So because the microbial action makes them putrefaction. And then comes to lipids. What's going to happen? නේද? මේ වගේ දැන් පොල් තෙල් හිම තියෙනකොට ටික කාලයක් යනකොට මුඩු තෙල් වෙනවා. නේද? මේ වෙන්නේ මයික්‍රෝබියල් ඇක්ෂන් එක නිසා. ඉතින් මුඩු වෙනවට අපි කියන වචනේ තමයි rancidity. So you see that according to the type of food you have, the microbial action also changes. Okay, so now we are going to see the beneficial effects of microorganisms on us. The first thing is in different industries, we use microorganisms, like in production of curd, yogurt, cheese, bakery products, alcohols and the antibiotics, vaccines වගේ දේවල් food වලට biogas හදන්න නේද? fire industry එකේ කොය ගත්තොතින්ම කොහු කියන එක ළමයි. කොහු වල ඇත්තටම අපි ඕව හදන්නේ coconut husk එකකින්නේ. You know that those fire in the coconut husk cannot be separated. නේද? අර පොල් මුඩු විදියට එකතු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මේව වෙන් කර ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට microorganisms use කරලා. And then comes to the next one, microorganisms also do a very important function for our world, that is the decomposition. And so what they do is, they will decompose or decay the dead organic matter. Plants, the animals, the මැරුණහම මේගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන dead bodies ආයේ decompose කරනවා කියලා, දිරාපත් කරනවා කියලා පුංචි පුංචි nutrients වලට කඩන එක මේගොල්ලෝ කරනවා. If this does not happen, our environmental balance won't be continued. So it is very, very required for the microbe, for us all. Then the next one is for the control of pest. අපේ වගාවලට හානි කරන්නේ නැ පලිබෝධ වලට මේවා control කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන අපිට microorganisms අපි use කරනවා. For example, now there is a corn plant that is made. බඩ ඉරිඟු හදලා තියෙනවා ළමයි corn කන්නේන පණුව ඇත්තටම මේ බඩ ඉරිඟු කලල පුංචි කාලේ ඉඳන්ම ඒකේ වැඩෙන කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් මේ හදන බඩ ඉරිඟු වල plant එකට අපි microorganism කෙනෙක් introduce කළ නිසා that plant is toxic itself for that insect. මේක කන්නේන මේ insect මේක විෂ වෙනවා මේ microorganism ගේ action එක නිසා මේ ගහ. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා ළමයි you can use these kind of microorganisms to control the pests as well. Okay, then comes to the harmful effects of microorganisms. So the first one is food spoilage. අපේ ආහාර නරක වෙන එක නේද? Then the next one is ළමයි the diseases are caused to humans, even for the animals and even for the crops and non-living surfaces as well. The man to so you see that the disease is given along with the type of microorganism as well. For example, now from viruses, there are infectious diseases formed. මේ හැම එකක්ම microorganisms වලින් බෝ වෙනවා නම් ඒවා infectious diseases. මොකද වෙන්නේ it can be spreading from you to a different person. ඔයාලගෙන් තව කෙනෙක්ට මේක බෝ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නේද? Okay. Comes to the first one, virus. මොකද වෙන්නේ? virus වලින් common cold, dengue, AIDS වගේ දේවල් හැදෙන්න පුළුවන්. AIDS කියන රෝගයට ගත්තොත් තමයි මේක හැදෙන්නේ virus එකක් නිසා. හැබැයි ගොඩක් වෙලාට අපේ ඇඟේ තියෙන sexual body fluids transfer වෙලා තමයි නැත්නම් අපේ blood එක transfer කරද්දී තමයි මේ ලෙඩේ හැදෙන්නේ. We call it as the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. මොකද වෙන්නේ මේ ලෙඩේදී අපේ immunity එක ලෙඩ වලට තව ලෙඩක් හැදුනහම fight කරන්න පුළුවන් හැකියාවයි නැති වෙනවා. ඉතින් එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? The person will die by getting another disease. ඉතින් මේ ලෙඩේ තියෙන බරපතලකම තමයි අපේ ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඕගොල්ලන්ගෙන් පස්සේ age එකේ අයට මේ ලෙඩේ ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. The next thing is, for a person, even though the person is infected from this AIDS virus, the person won't know that one. එයා දන්නේ නැහැ මෙයාට AIDS තියෙනවා කියලා for about 8 to 12 years. ඒ නිසා very critical one. ඩෙන්ගි කියන එක අපි හිතන්නේ මදුරුවගෙන් ඩෙන්ගු මදුරුවා තමයි හැදෙන්නේ කියලා. හැබැයි the main thing is dengue mosquito does not make the disease. එයා ලෙඩේ හදන කෙනා නෙමෙයි. It is the one who spreaded the disease. The dengue is caused by a virus actually. Then comes to the next one. The bacteria makes tuberculosis disease. අපි කියනවා lungs වලට අපේ පෙනහළු වලට හැදෙන ලෙඩක්. බැක්ටීරියා එක ගිහින් අපේ පෙනහළු වල ජීවත් වෙන්න ගන්නවා. So we get sick. Leprosy ලාදුරු කියලායි කියන්නේ ළමයි. Just look at this picture. So you see that some deformities have happened to the hands of the person. This happens due to leprosy. And then typhoid fever, a kind of fever getting due to polluted food and water. Your intestine get infected by this particular bacteria, and because of that you get the fever. And protozoa malaria කෙනෝන හැදෙනවා leishmaniasis කියන එක. ඒ කියන්නේ ළමයි ඔයගලන්ට තුවාල එළිය අපි open wounds තියෙනකොට ඒක ඇරලා තියෙනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ sand fly වගේ මැස්සෝ වගේ සත්තු ඇවිල්ලා මේ protozoa එක අරගෙන එන්න පුළුවන් එතනින් එහාට ඔයාලගේ තුවාලේ සනීප වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඒක තව spread වෙනවා at the same time even the enlarging of the liver can occur due to this disease. And amoebasis and fungi diseases but up to tyriasis so can be taken. Tyriasis means aluhanglamai. Oh, here you see that. And then come to the infectious diseases caused to animals. The animals that are having diseases got to them. So rabies, the mouth watering disease for dogs. And then you see the bull suffering from foot and mouth disease. So it's not easy for it to eat. This is the mastitis disease caused to cow. The milking part of the cow becomes enlarged here. Then the next one is the infectious disease caused to plants. ඉතින් මොකද වෙන්නේ? So this potato late blight disease. So there are some brown color spots occurring in the potato plant. Then that whole area become brown or blacken in color, and the plant will die by spreading that color throughout the plant. And you see the pepo leaf has got mosaic disease. The leaf has got amberilla වගේ තියෙනවා. That's the disease. Then the chilies get curl leaf disease. Leaf එක එන්න amber එන්න ගන්නවා. මේක infectious disease එකක්. Then comes to the damages caused by microorganisms on the other surfaces. නේද මේගොල්ලන්ට wood අපේ clothes ඒ වගේම walls of buildings in all these places they can grow damaging the properties. මේක ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපිට ආර්ථික විදිහටත් බලපාන දෙයක් as they are causing lot of damages to very expensive properties of us. Okay. So that's the end of the lesson. So for today's lesson, we were learning about what microorganisms are, where they can be, what food spoilage is, and what are the changes that are going to occur in food spoilage, and how the microbial activity is going to happen in the food, and factors needed for the growth of microorganisms, then the beneficial and the harmful effects of microorganisms as well. So I hope that the lesson is a bit clear to all of you. So until we meet again, let's say goodbye.